to the podcast, hablemos de lo nuevo. 40Gs, G's, ¿qué pasa en el terreno? Vienen jugadores y se van, traiga lo nuevo, a huevo. Doesn't matter where you from, Salvador, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua. Todo mi latino, come and listen for an hour. TikTok, que traemos lo que quiere, todo lo que pasa dentro y fuera de las redes. Really? You don't know what it is. Reportamos con la lupa what we see at the digs. En las buenas y en las malas yo diré la verdad. Si cometen un error o tienen habilidad, la calidad del rival cuando viene a jugar. Facts. Yo no me muerdo la lengua. Got love for the crest in the city I came from. Los campeones de campeones y con copas mi race. No empezamos, empurgamos. Soy la voz de LA One. Soy la voz de LA One. Love. Yeah.
Hello, hola, and buenas to all you first place LA Galaxy fans out there. Ooh, boy, it's frosty up here on top of the table. Today, we'll be reacting to this weekend's Cali Clásico centenary, a really nervy affair, a 4-3 LA Galaxy home win against the San Jose Earthquakes on Sunday, April 21st. That became so after Eric Zavaleta's red card left the Galaxy to play with 10 men, and they were forced to suffer to see that match out. But before we get into all that and all the craziness that was El Cali Clásico, let me bring back to you El Gitano Perdido, the Ride or Die G, and only El Yerno Guapo, Ananda Kirana. How are you feeling today? Still first place.
We are still first place. Oh man, feels good. But I'm gonna be honest, Papa, I'm a little nervous right now because, as some of you, maybe half of this pod knows, or just half of you guys in general, the Los Angeles Lakers are playing right now, and so I'm a little nervous right now. This is a big game 2. I'm gonna be scoreboard watch. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I'm just gonna.
What's the score right now?
Right now, it is 82-73 in the fourth quarter with 9:42 left in the game. So I'm a little bit of a nervous wreck right now, but that's okay because the Galaxy are still in first place, like you said. Pero Papa, you know what? I feel a little relieved too. And, I think that's going to be my one-word match reaction. You know how we always do these one-word deals. I think I came out of that stadium relieved, and that's going to be my one-word reaction. Obviously, we'll get into how and why and ifs and whats, but I'll tell you from where I was sitting with the people that I was with, I think we all went out of there happy, of course, but more so in a sense of relief more than anything.
Well, I felt pretty much the same thing. It was just hold on to your hats time right there at the end. And it shouldn't have been like that, but you know what? It is what it is. They got the 3 points, and hopefully they take the lessons from this one and they apply it to the rest of the season. But I'm gonna call you out on not doing your thing now, right? You know.
I know you always do that, but you know what? Since I flashed this,
I gotta get you today.
Since I flashed this up, though, real quick, since I flashed this up on the thing, chat, if you're in there, go ahead and give us your one-word match reactions, and of course, we will shout them out if it coincides with ours or maybe a little different. Rob, real quick, before I do my thing or my little, housekeeping and all that good stuff, I just wanted to hear yours, Papa. I'm interested to hear what you thought of the match in a word. Or how you felt.
You know what? To be honest, I don't. My feelings can't be summed up into one word on this one. I mean, it's the first 30 minutes were just magical. This free flowing football, the Galaxy playing up to their ability, and then later in the game, it was a shambles, man. It was. Why you got to make it so hard on yourself?
So roller coaster then. Sounds like roller coaster of emotion.
Of love
of emotions in this case.
Yeah, no, definitely emotions, but you go through that roller coaster because you love it, right?
Because it's his team. It's La Tóxica. Yeah, you know what it is.
And yeah, it was like that at points, where you're just shaking your head because the football's that good, and then at moments you're shaking your head because it's just you're like, what are you doing, lad? But anyway, we'll get into it all.
Yeah.
And saying all that, I'm gonna call you out number 2. You got to do your thing.
Oh man, I better do it now before 3-strike rule. So let me get into my housekeeping, guys. So of course you can always follow me, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana. Really quick, I want to shout this
Stalk
out.
'em.
So Leo said, hard to put in one word. I mean, it is kind of one word. This is the
I
fun of it,
agree.
Leo. This is the
I
fun of
agree.
it, is trying to consolidate
with
it
you,
into
Leo.
one word, because I think we have a lot of good debates around that thing. But anyways, go ahead, give it a shot, Leo. Give it a shot. Put it in the chat. And anyways, you guys can always find us on the socials as well at La Cuna Galaxiana. Obviously, if you found this YouTube, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. We love you, chat, and we're glad to have y'all back. If you haven't yet and you like what you're listening to, go ahead and give this video a like before you forget. Let's see if any of our chief like officers or our VP of likes or the Prime Minister of like officers are in the chat. But go ahead and give us those likes,
the Lasan
guys.
Al Gaib of likes.
Because we do have to play the algo game, of course. And if you haven't subbed yet to us, go ahead and give us a shot. Give us that subscribe, because you know what? If you don't like us, you can always unsubscribe. It's very easy. It's just a little click of a button. Easy. But hopefully you do like us. And of course, we do have an audio version of this pod in case you don't like seeing our faces either. See, guys, like, we give you options. We just kind of lay it out for you guys, and you either take it or what's that one movie with Will Ferrell? It's like, so you either take it or whatever. I forgot the one liner, but it was something to that effect.
I'm surprised you bring him up in a Galaxy centric.
That's true. I don't know why it just came to mind, but sorry for that. That's 3 strikes. That's almost 3 strikes for me, right there. That just shot me in the foot.
That's 2 strikes, and then you just fouled one off really hard. Man, you got to hit home run on the next one.
But really quick, he did wear a Galaxy hat before he changed the color, so I'm gonna go back to that. So, anyways,
money motivated. What can you say? He wanted to become an owner. Trying to get his bag. Can you hate? I'm not sure. It's debatable. But anyway, I know you're nervous over there, Papa. So give us a score check, and then we'll move on.
82-77 with 8:18 left in the fourth quarter. Man, these nuggets they're I swear to God, these guys are absolutely gonna kill me. But anyways, Papa, before I forget,
el gurú,
como siempre,
el gurú, bro.
Como siempre, antes de olvidarme, ¿no? Buenos días, tardes o noches, y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiana. I for sure will not mention Will Ferrell's name again on this pod, and with that, I'm gonna bring it back to you, sir, because we got a lot to talk about. Of course, you got some shout outs and stuff, but I mean, this is a crazy game. It had 7 goals. There's lots to talk about. 2 pens, a red card, a horrible ref as well, I might add. But anyways, let's get into it, man.
Yeah, and before we get into it, we're just a couple of days away from Ananda's first away trip to see the Galaxy. So if you're going to be in Austin, link up with us. Let us know where you're going to be at. We'll come through. We'll come find you guys. You'll come find us. We'll link up, have a drink, and play SADA. See Ananda, drink Ananda. If you see him, tag him, make him drink, get him. That's all I got to say. I mean, it's gonna be, and I'm gonna be sending out periodic, updates, Ananda sighting here, so you can go ahead and get him. So anyway, make his first away trip memorable. That's all I got to say.
Real quick, Leo put in the chat as one word, anxiety. I'm gonna get to that, Leo. I'm definitely gonna get to that, because there were a lot of anxious people around me, and I am gonna shout out a special someone that I did get to sort of partake the game in and have a good time with. But yes, I will come back to that for sure.
Alrighty, well, let's get into it, man. Hey, do you remember Chris Mavinga, LA Galaxy defender? Once a G, always a G.
Once a G, always a G. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he was at the game. He's been commenting on more Galaxy stuff just recently, and he was at the game. And post game, he got to celebrate with his former teammates and took a lovely picture with the entire team. And he's right there at the very front. If you guys are listening to this rather than watching this, Chris is right there at the very front with a Riqui Puig jersey. I'm assuming it's autographed, or I hope it's autographed, because things are going to be worth some money one day. And the team looks ecstatic. The team looks like it's in first place, and it's really nice to see him link up with his former teammates. So Shout out to Chris Mavinga. Once a G, always a G. And happy birthday to the best Galaxy head athletic trainer around, Cesar Roldan, brother of Alex and Christian Roldan. He is in charge of making sure your LA Galaxy are fit as fiddles. So happy birthday to him. And hopefully that wherever he is, he's celebrating really nice with some family. Feliz cumpleaños at the Cesar. And then we bring you the latest VCFC update. They did have their last game at the track and field stadium at the Digs this past weekend on Saturday, April 20th. It ended up in a 1-1 tie against Sporting KC. It went to penalties, and I believe they won on after 10 rounds, so at 10-9. And Alexis Senge scored in the 92nd minute to go ahead and send that one to penalties. And what was really cool about this one is that these lads got, some of the Galaxy first team, some VIPs to show up. So, Diego Fagundes was there. Riqui Puig was there. Gaston Brugman was there. Julian Aude was there. Of course, as important as they are, everybody needs to know, obviously, that the most important was Galaxy Mom. She was there, and she was rallying the troops, trying to get people out to this match. So shout out Galaxy Mom where you were at. I had the pleasure of running into her post-match and got to give her a hug. So Galaxy Mom, wherever you're at, always nice to see you. And always nice to see her get out for the community and try to get people to come to things like this. And it was especially nice because we had those VIPs like I mentioned, but the truth, man, the truth is loose. The truth started, the truth played well. Truth got about 45 minutes. Jalen Neal was excellent in his limited cameo, 100% passing, 100% long balls. And, from all intents and purposes, he might be ready to get a look in Austin. So, Ananda, I'm really hoping that's the case.
That would be awesome. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. By the way, check the weather today for Austin. It's going to be thunderstorms again. So,
on Friday, hopefully on Saturday it clears up. But yeah, that's not going to be fun. But anyways, let's deal with that when we get there.
Yeah, the rain. Hopefully it's not like last year, right? But anyway, so VCFC were playing their last game at the Digs. They will be moving to William Rollins Stadium in Thousand Oaks. That's a stadium partnership with Cal Lutheran University. Their first game will be on Sunday, May 19th at 5 p.m. where they host Real Monarchs. Tickets are now on sale for games at the Willie Roll. GA is $15, premium is $20, and season tickets are $170. Yes, Ananda, I am sticking to the Willie Roll. I'm gonna commit to that. So shout out to the LA Galaxy Academy. They've committed several teams to a tournament called Best of the West. They've committed their U13s, 14s, 15s, 16s, and 18s to this tournament called Best of the West, happening August 16th through 18th. 2024. Of course, the U17s just did the GA tournament, and they were runners up after losing in penalties. So the Galaxy Academy doing big things right now, man. Not least, this one's kind of bittersweet actually, because I don't know what the dynamics of this young player's departure is. But congrats to Julian Palacios, the former LA Galaxy Academy player. The 18-year-old just signed earlier in the year with North Carolina FC, and now he's being sounded out by Belgian club KVC Westerlo in 7 matches this year for NCFC. He has 2 goals in back-to-back games. So, you know what? He's one to watch. Ananda, like I said, I don't know the dynamics of this deal right here, but hopefully they didn't lose him for nothing. Hopefully there was some kind of deal that happened here, because all intents and purposes he looks like he's a good young player. So anybody that knows a little bit more about Julian Palacios and perhaps what went down with his deal, go ahead and shout us out there in the chat. Um, but congratulations to him. I mean, that's the culmination right there, right? Getting that European move. I mean,
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
that's it. Yeah, and we've had a good track record recently, right? Like of teams sort of poaching our young talent, Adam Saldana, etc. So yeah, let's keep it moving, man. Like we talked about this. A healthy organization from top to bottom. That includes the academy. That includes how we develop these young players, and this is always a positive, right? And whether they stay with the Galaxy or not, at least we're giving them a platform to pursue their career elsewhere, and that's really good as well.
And you know what else is really good? We have a wild pinchy jalapeno sighting in the chat. Welcome, sir. Jalapeno. Eres mi portero. Welcome, man. Thank you so much to Pinchy and everyone that's in the chat right now. Everyone that supports this podcast, this humble little pod, we like to say. And we couldn't do it without you, and it's beautiful to have you. Speaking of having you guys, having this beautiful community, the G's community can go out in the following days. If you missed the G's Run LA 420 event at the Rose Bowl, you can catch the next one on April 27th at Absolution Brewing. So go ahead and say what's up to G's Run LA this weekend as they get together again. This one is always open to walkers and runners of all levels. They'll have 2 tracks. So go ahead and hit up G's Run LA on their socials if you have any other questions. Ananda, for those of you that are regularly going to the digs, catching the Galaxy in first place, you are now going to have the chance to start getting some stadium giveaways. The first one coming up is May 11th versus RSL. It's Star Wars night. You can go ahead and buy a Jalen Neal Rebel Pilot bobblehead for $15. And the first 10,000 people will get LED light up foam sticks. So watch out for May 11th Star Wars night. I hope they have like those glowy ones, that like flash all the different colors. It's not just like one solid color. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So speaking of fun, the IAG's watch party will be happening this weekend, and of course there will probably be a bunch of other watch parties happening. This is just the first one we've heard about so far. Shout out to Heck and the IEGs. That will be happening at Common Ground in Oakland at 10:30 a.m. They're getting together though at 9 a.m. at Apolani's. So any G's that are in the Oakland area, go ahead and hook up with the G's at Apolani's at 9. And man, you know what, Ananda, I have no clever segue for this one. But I just wanted to give a special supporter shout out, man, because VBlock did their thing with their Tifo.
Yeah, sick.
I mean, it's la pasión, right? That's what you want to see out of supporters, and so I just wanted to take a moment to shout them out. Of course, we'll get more into the stadium atmosphere a little bit later, but this one, if you guys aren't watching it, says, "You are the cause of my madness. You are the cause of my euphoria." I was thinking about this one, man, because I almost feel like it was in Spanish and they translated it to English, right? Porque eres la causa de mi locura, right? Like you go crazy for this team, right? So anyway, I could be off, I could be wrong, but anyway, I love it, and well done. So yeah, shout out to them.
And the message is so on point and so true.
Yeah, I mean, we know firsthand. I mean, we sometimes have to relive a loss like 3 times because we're getting ready to do this pod, right? So
or we live a whole year like we did last year, unfortunately, with our season-ending pods.
¿Cómo me haces esto? ¿Cómo me haces esto,
oh
bro?
my god, Papa.
Yeah, no, last year was raw, bro, because like we had to relive losses like twice, and then later we did like recaps and like, yeah, it was like,
no era yo, papá, era equipo. No es mi culpa, es la culpa del equipo, papá.
Okay, well, you know, I can't really come at them though, so they're not here. So you know, you just got to share my pain with me. Yeah, man. So anyway, I really dug the Tifo. So shout out to the supporters. And then also shout out to Riqui, Puig, and the Galaxy because Pretty Riqui, aka the Prince Who Was Promised, aka Little Jimmy Neutron, aka Mr. Take Your Girl. Man, he re-upped on the bag. Congratulations to him, dude. The 24-year-old, of course, joined from Barcelona during the 2022 season, and we've said it a couple times on this pod that his current deal expired on December 31st, 2025, and now we don't have details of this deal, but we got him at least through, I would imagine, like at least 2 more years, right? So you know, we'll go ahead and bring you an update on that when we have some specifics. But Puig has made 54 appearances for the Galaxy, and obviously he's considered one of the best midfielders in the league. He leads the league in touches by a big margin. I mean, it's not even close. 998 to 794. That's Sergio Busquets in second place. He's in the 99th percentile in several departments: passes attempted, progressive passes, progressive carries, and he's just, I mean, a focal point for the Galaxy, right? And like, and for opposing defenses. I mean, he opens up that space, and now that he has the triple P around him, it's off to the races. He's going to look even better. So congratulations to Riqui. You know what? We will not be mad at you if you want to share some of that bag.
I was gonna say, man, what a difference a couple of weeks makes, though, right? I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, people were criticizing him with that LAFC performance. That he was, you know, we even had people like questioning whether he should be on this team, right?
People, you and me too, bro. Like we
no, but
we were right to say something. We were right to say something, but you know.
Well, the thing is, we criticize, but we criticize fairly, right? And so we didn't criticize I don't think of his place on the team. I think we criticized about the performance, right? And we had a right to criticize that performance, because if we had the same Riqui that we saw yesterday or some other games this season against LAFC, it might have been a different outcome, right? But you know, what a difference a couple weeks makes. Right now, he's re-upping. I think that kind of silences a little bit of maybe some of the possible chisme that he might be looking to go back to Europe. I mean, look, the reality is, I'm pretty sure he's at some point he's going to want to go back, right? If the opportunity is there. But at least from this report, we know that he's committing his future to the Galaxy, and that is a really, really good sign. And that's a good emotional boost as well for the team, that, you know, he's committed to this team. He's committed to winning an MLS Cup. I heard that in the post-match press conference as well with some of his comments, and that's good. That's all positive, man, and that's all we can take it as, is a big positive for sure.
Oh yeah, no, of course. I mean, it lets them focus on what's important. But you know what? I didn't want to call it like that. You said like what a difference a couple of weeks makes. I mean, they were working on this deal for a while. I mean, he mentioned it a couple months ago. I mean, so they've been in negotiations. It looks like, or at the very least, like he brought it up that they were, you know, speaking about it.
Oh yeah.
So,
but it's just interesting the timing. It's just interesting the timing of it all, like the announcement, and we don't know when it was done. It could have been done like even weeks ago, but maybe they just decided. So I thought the timing was interesting. But yeah, I mean, the reality is we can all speculate, and it's just for us just to talk about. But the reality is it's done, and he's committed to the team, which is awesome.
Yeah, and like I said, we will take some of that bag if you want to share it. And then you know what, like. You know what, Apple, if you're listening to this,
speaking of bag,
we'll take some. Yeah, you know, we'll take some of the bag that you're about to pay out to secure the 2025 Club World Cup. The New York Times reported today that Apple is seeking out the 2025 Club World Cup that will happen here in the U.S. Teams like Manchester United and Chelsea and Fluminense and a couple of MLS teams like Seattle will be playing in this one. So, yes, it is a good opportunity to see some of your favorite European clubs, and Apple knows that a lot of people are going to be watching this one, so they're going to be paying close to $1 billion to secure the deal. We're not greedy. We just want, you know, like, maybe what would you say, Ananda? Maybe like 100 racks each. We could do fine with that, right?
100 racks, man. I take like 1% of that, honestly. But yeah, these guys they've got deep pockets. We all know that. So
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I mean, 100 racks for Apple is like, a
chump
penny for
change.
you and I. For a penny for you and
Exactly.
I. You and yes. Yeah.
I got you first. No, I got you first on that. I got you first. I got him.
Yeah, but
I
does
got
it
him,
count?
chat.
Does it count if I do it to myself though? Like if I catch myself and get myself before you get me? I don't know.
I don't know.
But
You're trying to
I
do the
will.
jinx roll on me.
I will get you though before this part of the. I'm even listening to it like a hawk. But anyway, I suppose it's time to get into game time, right? Or the reason we're all here,
Yeah.
the first place Galaxy. Man, I drove up Ananda and I was like, oh, I got off the off ramp and I was like, oh, this is different right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was nutty, bro. I really dug like the buzz that was happening around the stadium in the lead up to this match. Of course, you were boots on the ground. I was in the press box. So go ahead and let us know what your experience was like. First, getting to the stadium in that gnarly traffic. I heard that you had a little bit of a trek with one of our favorites.
Yep.
Yeah. So lay it on me, man. Like what went down?
Yeah, well, I mean, we left a little later than we thought, but we thought, roll in. We probably were gonna get there. GPS said 4:15, about an hour before kickoff, an hour and 15. Awesome, right? Got off the highway there, and there was like traffic art. I'm like, oh, okay. Like you said, this is different, right? And then I was gonna go. I think I got off on Avalon, so you make that left into lot 13. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to the main gate. Probably park in 11 or 12. See some buddies over there. I bought some choice beverages with my wife and some chips and salsa and all that good stuff. And, we'll hang out there. Unfortunately, parking attendant sent me all the way they sent everyone all the way to the other side of so I had to go all the way down, I think make a left on University and literally park in God knows where, somewhere in the other side of the Cal State Dominguez Hills campus. And they parked everyone over there. And it was just, it literally, I probably would have gone in the stadium or gone through the doors. I mean, through the entrance there at like I would say maybe 4:25 or so. Didn't even get out of my car till 5, right? Like literally, like just took me about half an hour just to get to my spot. And so I told my wife, I was like, you know what? Let's just hang out. Like, let's just chill. Let's just have a couple of drinks and eat our chips and all that good stuff. On the way down, though, I see a familiar face. So shout out Matthew, Comments SC, Black Galaxy fans, and he was having he's like, man, come over. I'm just hanging out in the car because I mean it's crazy, man. We got here all late and stuff, and so we just had a little mini tailgate there, and it was cool catching up with him and all that stuff. And ended up, I can't remember the last time I entered the southeast entrance of Dignity Health Sports Park, Robert. Like
oh man,
like I don't think I've ever entered in. Definitely not last year. I did not enter on that side of the field, but yeah, it was.
I do it very seldom as well, but it exists.
It definitely exists, but man, like just even getting into the stadium, and then we took a little lap around. We saw a couple of our friends, so shout out Ryan and Sean and everyone that we saw. And yeah, like the atmosphere was just it's different, man. This year just feels different. I don't know if it was the fact that we're first place. I don't know if it was because it was a Cali Clásico. I mean, it was beautiful weather, right? The fog rolled in sort of halfway through the game, but it was beautiful weather. The sun was out. And yeah, it just felt different. And if you guys caught my social again at Ananda Galaxiana, I tried to sort of capture that moment, even, before kickoff during the national anthem, right? Because usually stadium's about half packed. I was scanning. I mean, you guys can see it on my phone. I mean, it was pretty packed, like even in the upper deck, man. Like I haven't seen the upper deck like that in a while either. So yeah, again, I don't know if it's a combination of those factors that I laid out earlier, but it's just a beautiful sight to see. And everyone was just in a very celebratory mood. Just like I said, what a difference your year makes. We keep saying that on the show, but I can't state it enough. And this is what the dig should be, right? And now with the fans in their seats sort of early, like, getting this team up, like giving them the energy, like now we can make the digs a fortress. And I'm hopefully throughout the rest of the year, we can make the digs a fortress in terms of not only defensively, like literally, but just like teams know they're in for a game when they come to the digs. And I think we need that sort of momentum as soon as we get into the playoffs and just riding that wave. So man, it was awesome to see. I loved it.
Chat, let me know if this was the most rockin' you've seen the digs for a non-El Tráfico match in recent memory. It sure was for me, for a match that wasn't El Tráfico or Inter Miami, right? The matches, the couple of home matches previous, it was loud, it was rocking, but this one was like, there, like I said, there was a buzz and electricity in the air. Gave the supporters a big shout out as well midweek in the press conference, and he says that he was super pleased with all the support, especially with the supporters getting there early and committing to being in the stands already, like, during warm up and like having the team feed off that energy and stuff like that. So he gave them a big shout out. Julian Aure also gave them a big shout out in the lead up to this one. He says that they become strong through them, through the supporters. So, and like I mentioned, a lot of that was, or at least the visual part of that was the Tifo game was mad strong in this one. So we showed you guys that one a little bit earlier. But yeah, man, the parking lot was even full when I came in. I mean, I usually park in lot 10. They did not allow me to park in lot 10 because they were like, it's all full. So they made me go
nuts
to lot 13, and I just found a little spot like in lot 13, like off in the corner. And yeah, man, I mean, it was full, but like you said, that's the way the dig should be. Like when I go and I see that, I'm like, yes, for everything else that the everybody's saying, like, is the Galaxy back? I mean, these are, telltale signs that at least in spirit, the team is on its way back. So, hey, man, I definitely like to see this kind of atmosphere, and yeah, Greg's right. The team feeds off of this. So, anyway, let's get into some lineups, man. What you think about the starting lineup here?
Well, really quick before lineups, so heartbreaking news, Robert. So the Los Angeles Lakers lost 101-99. I don't know what went on in the last play. I'm hearing there's some last play shenanigans, but damn it, heartbreaking. Anyways, let's talk about more positive stuff, but some damning breaking news there. So let's talk about these
Lakers
lineups,
down
man.
2-0. Ouch.
Wow. Yeah, it's a big one. So let's talk about these lineups. Yeah, I think
we got a couple of surprises on this one, huh?
I was gonna say, like, the big surprise obviously was I didn't even realize Yamane was not playing until like a few minutes in, where I was like, wait, that's not Mickey. Like, what happened to Mickey, right? And so Edwin Cerillo, God bless him, they were calling him Edwin Camavinga. He was starting on that.
Yep.
He was starting at right back, and he did a pretty decent job. I mean, to be honest with you, man, like I am gonna give him a little bit of a shout out. I mean, he's been a soldier this year. He's kind of done everything that Greg has asked of him and more. I mean, I could have given defending the badge.
Hey,
could have given
real quick. Hey, I got to call out my boy Edwin Cerillo. I mean, his fit was mad fly. He had that on this like red suit with like these black boots. Man, it was fire, man. Proceed. I just needed to shout that out really quick. Edwin, fit was fire.
Fit game is on, huh? Okay. So him and Mark, right? You said Mark's fit game is strong as well.
Oh yeah. But see, I think Mark keeps it like a little bit more casual, especially like in the shoes. Like his shoe game is strong, but
Edwin's just straight drip, right? That's what you're telling me.
I mean, well, no, I've seen him, like dressed down too, but the boots were like these man, the boots were fire. I just got to say that. Anyway, I'm sorry I got us off track. I just had to say that. Anyway, go right ahead.
No, but that was a big surprise, right? And I was just saying that, I could have honestly given defending the badge, even just for that, right? Just slotting in center back the one game and then slotting it right back this game. Right. But, on a couple of those occasions, we'll talk about a couple of those goals. Unfortunately, he didn't have right back instincts. He didn't have the defender instincts, and he was a little bit at fault for a couple of those goals. But, for being out of position, I think he did a commendable job. And, I think this is all good experience for him. Think about like how this is going to develop sort of his tactical game, his defensive game. And then of course behind, being in the mentorship of Gaston Brugman as well, who had a fantastic game. And we'll talk about his performance later. This is all good, right, for Edwin. So yeah, that was really it from the Galaxy side. And of course, the notable starting lineup, their note on the Earthquake side was our boy Preston Judd, who we had on the show earlier this year. He was given the start and he played 45 minutes before he was hooked for Ebobisse in the second half. So
yeah, he got hooked because it just wasn't happening for him.
Happening.
Yeah, unfortunately, but you might be asking yourself. Yeah, I know. I mean, a bummer for him because super nice guy. But you know what? This is the Cali Clásico, and like he said, it's a war. And you know what? I'm glad the Galaxy came out on top. But you might be asking yourself why Edwin Cerillo or Edwin Camavinga, as they're calling him, had to slide in at right back, and it was because Malcuevas was sick on Saturday. Greg let us know in the post-match presser that he rang up the doctor on Saturday and let him know, hey, I'm not feeling too well. And then it was kind of touch and go to see if he was going to be good for Sunday. And, they couldn't risk him starting. So, it was Edwin Camavinga in there, man. Of course, the Galaxy did get center back Eric Zavaleta back from injury, and he slotted back into the lineup in a substitute role, and he would play a pivotal part of this match. But we'll get into a little bit more of that in a bit. We'll let you guys sound off on that.
Real quick, Robert, I do want to bring this up, going back to this last point, because I was sitting near Lars as well, actually right there between 138 and 139. So Leo says, I sit in Lars, and a lot of regular Lars members were surprised how packed the section was. A lot of first-timer in the section having to explain people that seats aren't assigned. Yeah, I noticed that too, that there was a lot of casuals in those sections. And yeah, it was kind of cool to see, to be honest, just like them just getting in the atmosphere, like we're all giving high fives to each other and like, oh, okay, cool, like kind of thing. So that was really cool to see as well. So yeah, really good shout there.
I just got mad FOMO, bro. Mad FOMO. It's been a while since I've been around, like, just like legit first timers that are just like learning and they're enthused and stuff like that. Oh, that must have been
super cool,
man.
Yeah, I was sitting too. So shout out the commish, shout out Mauricio. I was sitting actually next to Mauricio. No. And he actually was given like a phone. I think there was like a group outing, and he had to take a couple of pictures for the group. So it was cool to see, man. Very, very cool to see.
Yeah, definitely. And they picked a good game to go to, El Cali Clásico Centenary, the 100th one. And it was the fourth home match for the Galaxy this year, their second home win, in which they earned that 4-3 victory over the oldest rival, San Jose Earthquakes, at the Digs. Of course, the Triple P was on fire. They linked up. Gabriel Peck, Riqui Puig, Joseph Painso, and Maya Yoshida each scored as the Galaxy won this one. It was 3-0 within 30 minutes. And one would have thought, hey, I'm going to just turn this one off because it's going to be a rout. And, I'm not going to miss anything if I turn this one off. It's just going to be a shellacking, right? Well, right. If you were one of the 25,335 fans in the seats there, which was an announced sellout, be happy that you didn't trickle out and you stayed around for this one because it was crazy. Like I said, the 3D Ps, the Triple P, the Killer Ps, as they're calling them, they all did their thing, but especially Gabriel Peck and Joseph Painso, they both recorded a goal and an assist. And Ananda, the Galaxy finally scored a penalty. Galaxy finally scored a penalty. I knew you could do it, guys. Yes. I'm super happy. JP stepped up for the, I believe it was the Galaxy's second goal. And and he slots home the penalty very, very confidently. So I think they found their penalty taker for the foreseeable future here. The Galaxy scored their first goal through good combination play in which Dejan Joveljic got an assist. Notably, Dayon has 7 goal contributions, 5 goals, and 2 assists in 8 career regular season matches played against San Jose. So he does his thing against the Earthquakes for sure. Julian Aude continued his good form. He won 9 out of 13 duels, had 2 possessions, won, and was fouled a game high 7 times. They were letting him have it. He also had 2 interceptions, and yeah, man. Another one that you kind of already mentioned is Gaston. You wanna go ahead and break down some of Gaston since you already mentioned him?
Yeah, I mean, so as you're going with the stats thing, so 1-2 tackles, 5 and 9 duels, game high 11 possessions, recorded a game high 4 interceptions. I mean, pass accuracy is always up there, 94%, completed 68 out of 72. I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I think he was key, especially when we went a man down, just organizing really the midfield and the defense, and just being there. Really being there and everywhere, and he put in a shift. So, but I'll save him for. We'll talk about him as we go through the show here, because he definitely deserves a more than honorable mention.
Yeah, I think I know what you're gonna do already. I think I smell what's coming. But I'll let it play out. I'll see what's good. So after this Galaxy victory, what should have been a rout that ended up being a 4-3 win. Of course, if you were there, if you saw it, you know that a red card was the tie turner here. But the Galaxy are up and cruising at 3-0. They give away a set piece, and wouldn't you know it, they get scored on with the set piece goal. Really cool. I had a really cool moment with Mike Gray and with Anthony Bautista in the press box, Ananda, because just before they took the corner kick for Maya's 3-0, right? So Gabriel Puig got the first, Joseph Paintsel got the second through the penalty. Galaxy are in the middle of their own set piece. Joseph Paintsel takes, and right before he takes, I turn to Anthony Bautista and I tell him, Maya scoring right here. Maya gets up, he scores, and he's just like, yo. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool. That was pretty cool. But I was like, yeah, definitely lucky, right? Even to myself, I was like, definitely lucky. Galaxy just a couple moments later give away the set piece. I turn to Mike Gray and I go, this is where they give away the one set piece goal in this game. And lo and behold, it also happened.
Yeah, I called it as well. I was on that side. I was like, oh, this is not good. We'll talk. We might talk about that play later. But yeah, it was a silly free kick to give away, and then the rest is history.
Right.
Unlucky,
Well, the Galaxy go into the half 3-1. Obviously, that's where it ends right there. But the Galaxy go ahead and come out guns blazing again. Riqui gets the 4th through some good transition interplay right there through him and Gabriel Peck, and then you're
sweet
thinking
first
again.
touch. Wow, and a
Yes,
sweet first
absolutely.
touch. Oh, ridiculous.
Yes. And again, you might be thinking, it's 4-1. We can shuffle out of here. It's 60th minute. We can shuffle out of here. It's gonna be about, except that almost immediately they turn around and they give away another goal through a whipped ball over the top. They just haven't been defending set pieces or aerial threats effectively. So now it's 4-2. And then that's kind of how we'll leave it, because what happens next is really gonna be an opportunity for chat to get in on this one. So
yeah, it's a barn burner after that. Hold for horses time.
Yeah, man. And Marvin, I love your idea. He says that we should do Baston Gaston para los aficionados de la tercera edad. Yes,
As a
for
giveaway.
all.
Yeah.
Yes, for all our abuelitos and abuelitas, we should do the Baston Gaston. That would be sick. Or if we have any pimps in here, Pimp Kane, it could be like the Gaston Pimp Kane as well, because he did have that kind of game. So anyway, Anandita, I know you've been bristling to try to get some stats out here. Hit us, Papa. Hit us.
Oh man, so you're really saving the best part of the game till okay. So let me go to the stats, and
Yeah,
then maybe
yeah,
we'll go
yeah,
back. We'll
yeah.
jump back to it.
No, because we got to sound off
Le-
on this one.
leaving the cliffhanger. All right. So let's get in the stats and how this thing ended. So Galaxy there. So this is I'm gonna narrate this for the audio listeners as well. So you look at ball possession. Galaxy ended up winning the possession battle 60-40. I think it was a lot more probably early in the game, Robert. But of course, when we down to 10 men, that quickly changed and it became a little more even. 2.01 expected goals for the Galaxy versus 1.65 for San Jose. They had 17 total shots with 7 on target and 3 big chances. We had 13 total shots, 8 on target and 4 big chances. Again, I would venture to guess that most of those came in the first 60 minutes of the game. In the last 30 minutes, we were really just defending for our lives. But again, the big chances are good, right? 4 big chances versus their 3. Passing, we controlled this game even in those last 30 minutes where we were down to 10 men. 514 to 316 for an 88% pass accuracy, 11 fouls committed, 21 fouls committed for San Jose. Papa, they were roughing us up, and you know what? The referee was also didn't have a very good game as well.
Kind of swallowed his whistle for sure.
Yeah, at least for us. And then 5 corners to 3. Unfortunately, some of those corners, they were dangerous, or at least a lot of the set pieces as well, because we can't stop bleeding set piece goals because we love to give off set piece goals. But yeah, man, again, it would be interesting. I should have probably done this before, but it would have been actually interesting to see what those stats were, I would say, coming into that last 30-minute stretch, because as soon as that happened, the game state completely changed and it was a much different game from that point forward.
Oh boy, was it ever. And chat, we left you at 4-2, but we will pick that back up. Don't you worry. But you know what? We spoiled the ending for you guys already. You guys already know the Galaxy win 4-3. Just hang on. They survived the Cali Clásico scare, and that means they are unbeaten in their last 6 regular season matches against San Jose, dating back to September 24th, 2022. And 47 all-time matches. They hold a 29-12-6 record against the Earthquakes, and their 39 wins against the Quakes make the Quakes the team they have beaten the most times in their history. So the Galaxy love to beat up on an Earthquake. And in 2 matches played against San Jose this season, Joe Paintsel has 2 goals and 2 assists. Dayon has a goal and 2 assists. Riqui has 2 goals and an assist. So yes, they're finding some joy against the northern rival. The Galaxy are the only team in MLS this season to score in their first 9 matches this year. They have not been blanked. In 4 matches played at home during the 2024 season, they have an unbeaten record of 2-0-2, 9 goals for, 7 goals against. And yeah, I think a lot of that has to do, Ananda, with the DPs, man. They're certainly clicking. They're finding that understanding, and you saw it in that first 30 minutes, man. It was beautiful at times to see some of the interchanges, some of the passing game that was going on. It was the first time this season that Riqui, Puig, Joseph Painso, and Gabriel Peck each recorded a goal in the same match. You know what? Last year we weren't even used to the DPs playing together, and now all 3 of them are scoring in the same match together. I mean, who is this team, right? Who is this team?
Amazing.
The last time that all 3 DPs scored in one match was in May of 2016. In that match, King Kino, Gio Dos Santos, and Steven Gerrard scored, and that was a 4-2 win over New England. Man, they again, they're clicking, right? And I don't think they're done clicking yet either. In the 5 matches that they've played together, Gabriel Peck has scored 2 goals and had an assist. Joseph Painso has scored 2 goals and had 3 assists. Riqui Puig has a goal and 5 assists. And then when you include Dayon in the mix, Ananda, the 3 Killer P's and Dayon have combined for 15 goals and 13 assists. So massive production from the attacking line. Dayon has 6 and 2. JP has 4 and 4. Gabriel Peck has 2 and 4, and Riqui has 3 and 3 on the season. Again, that combines for 15 goals and 13 assists. And man, I think they have another level to give. Riqui was asked about the DPs you know, in a positive sense, you know, just what he thought about the three DPs scoring, and you know, he gave an answer that I wasn't really expecting. He said something to the fact of, you know, for me, like we're pretty much all the same, you know, just it doesn't matter, you know, who's playing what on the field, you know, like or who has what contract. Basically he gave to understand that, like everybody on the field is important, right? And you, yeah, we're seeing that because I mean, you have guys like Mark Delgado step up, you have guys like Gaston Brugman stepping up, John McCarthy making incredible saves. So you know, as much as again we're talking about the DPs here, the whole team is playing well, but again, you expect the DPs to be, you know, stepping up and be the leaders because, you know, they are the DPs. Ananda, do you think that any one of these DPs is outperforming any of the others, or do you think they're that kind of perfect complement to each other?
No, I think you said it perfectly there. And chat, you know, sound off as well as kind of what you're thinking with Rob's question there. But I take that last thing that you said. They complement each other so well. And the funny thing, you know what I like, and I believe it was you that asked that question, Robert, to Riqui, about sort of the DPs. The one interesting part about his answer that I thought was more interesting was because I think you asked him, like, is this a you asked him in Spanish, I believe. Is this a preview of what's to come? And he's like, honestly, you see it already. Like, this isn't a preview. This is who we are, right? And they're showing it stats wise. I mean, you rattle off all their amazing stats so far this season. So it's a combination of that, sort of that mentality that Riqui had mentioned about. It's not just us three; it's the whole team. And not only, you know, like you said, Robert, you asked me, you know, is one outperforming the other? But I think the more interesting thing is how these three open up so many other opportunities for the other teammates, the other, you know, 8 guys on the pitch, right? Or the other 7 guys that are in the outfield, what it does to Mark Delgado, what it does to Gaston Brugman's game, you know, honing in on their strengths, like Gaston's passing ability, Mark Delgado's 3 lungs, right? And Joveljic just, you know, or Joveljic, sorry, just like being in the right place at the right time, being that poacher, right? That he's going to be on the end of a lot of the wizardry and the magic that comes from those 3. So all those things combined, man, it's damn, Will Kuntz, I'm so happy you brought these guys to the team. Like, what a way to put this team together, and just how they complement each other skill set wise. It's amazing to see. Just having that's what we were missing last year, Robert, was that speed on the wing, right? We could break, but then once we broke the first line, it was kind of a slower transition. Now you've got 2 like freight trains on either side, right? Just coming down your throats on the defensive end. It's a beautiful sight to see. I got to see that, witness that firsthand this weekend in the stands. Awesome, man. Amazing.
You're telling me you wouldn't rather have Doug Costa on the wing right there?
Who?
Good answer. Good answer, right? Yes. Leo, we will allow it. He wants to know if we can start calling Painso the Green Mamba. Sure, why not, man? It's your world. We're just gonna live in it. The Green Mamba it is. I'm sure he's gonna end up having a ton of nicknames before we're done. And he's done here in LA. I really want to see the supporter groups get down on drums and just like play Unbreakable, man. I really want that. Can we make that happen, please? Does anybody have any kind of poll?
Real quick, Rob. So, I mean, obviously we know that trio down in Miami, but arguably I would say the Galaxy is probably the best DP trio in the league, right? Based off of form.
Yes, based off of form right now. Let's hope it's sustainable and consistent. At a certain point I'm just like, oh man, are we jinxing it? Are we talking too loud? Like just I don't know. I don't want to.
The stats speak for themselves. All right. And remember, Rob, we played more games on the road this season. We've had a tough schedule start. I mean, if you said to me, we looked at the schedule together, first 10 games, we knew it was going to be a tough start. Look at where we are, man. And our DPs are, as the screen says, we're off and running. The DPs are off and running, and it's a beautiful sight to see.
Yes. Well, the Killer Peas did their thing. The Galaxy scored the goals they needed to score. Unfortunately, the defense again had moments of difficulty. I think you were kind of on base there, Ananda, with Edwin. I think positionally he was a little off on one of the goals at the very least. But of course the Galaxy were kind of forced into it because they didn't have Mickey Yamane who had the bone bruising, and then they didn't have Malcuevas through illness. So you said it earlier. He performed as well as you can expect for him to perform. But the team again didn't do well with set pieces. And then by extension, aerial attacks. Justin Ruderman and I, a friend of the show, Justin Ruderman, was saying, it's not just set pieces anymore. It's just attacks, especially those crosses, from the wing that are whipped, that are coming at pace. I mean, they're just not tackling them well. All 3 goals were from an aerial attack. The first was obviously from the set piece that comes off the deflection. The Podfather had the opinion that really they had nothing to do there, but I think it's just indicative again of the overall inability to handle these plays, right? A second comes from that whipped cross, that they're not doing well dealing with. And then the third came from a penalty after San Jose tried to play a ball over the top. And this is where we left you, 4-2. The Galaxy are again, controlling the game, except San Jose plays the ball over the top. By this point, Eric Zavaleta has already come on as a substitute for Martin Cáceres. He's about 10 minutes into a shift. San Jose plays the ball over the top, and my man Eric plays the madness here. He brings down San Jose attacker in the box. He's the last man, so he gets the red card. He had just been in for about 10 minutes. He had just returned from injury, and now he is out again. He will be suspended for 1 match, for that Austin away match. And the Galaxy are down to 10 men for about 20 minutes plus injury time, which ended up being 8. So for about 28 minutes, Ananda. And this is where we get into the nitty-gritty of the evening here. At this point, it's a hold on to your butts time, and you're thinking, all right, 4-2. Abobasi puts away the penalty. It's 4-3, and now you have to see this game out. And surprisingly, they did. What did you see from the team in those last 28 minutes? Chat. What did you see from this team?
Yeah, definitely sound off, chat, because I'll tell you from my perspective, again, I was probably near Leo, man. I probably didn't catch you, Leo. Next time I'm over there, I'll try to scope you up. But there, like you said, there were so many people there, and there's a lot of casuals there. It's hard to pick someone out. But I was sitting, like I told you, Robert, I was sitting next to the commish, Mauricio, so shout out Mauricio. And man, he was nervous. He was nervous, and he was making me nervous, right? Like, we were all so anxious. Like, what the heck just happened? Like, how did this game turn into a routine 3-1, even 4-1, right? To a nervy, like, just super anxious last 30 minutes of the game, and we shot ourselves in the foot. I feel like hopefully this is not the case, but hopefully the Galaxy are not their worst enemies this season. But in this game, it proved out to be. And, I know you talked about one of the things that we talked about internally, or you and I before, like backstage.
I got him.
There we go. Got
him, champ.
Me. That was 1. So tit for tat, 1 for 1. But yeah, so I love to see your reaction. But you said that, we want to talk about how mature of a performance, at least in the last 30 minutes when we were a man down, to kind of see this game out. Because last year we could have easily folded. Remember, the couple times that we got red cards last year, we completely folded, right? 4-2 in Vancouver. What was that shellacking in Houston last year after Cáceres got his red?
Bring that
3-0, 4-0, something like that. But in this game, we didn't, right? The good news is we're in the lead at this point. So it was a little different game state because they had to the other team had to score the goals to beat us, and we were in a winning position. So it was a little bit different. But, last 30 minutes, it was pretty good. But I don't know, man. anyways, I just want to confirm, like, that's what you thought. Like, you thought that this was probably the most mature performance, or one of a mature performance, let's say, not the most mature, but a mature performance to kind of see this game out.
I don't know if it was a combination of San Jose just not being where they need to be, on the pitch, or like along in their season. But yeah, I mean, the Galaxy did not seem like they were a man down. I mean, they were defending more, obviously, but they seemed to still control the match. I mean, they had possession, they still attacked. I do know that they were pressing a little bit. So I mean, for being a man down, yeah, I mean, they were able to still manage the match. And I believe I said that as soon as Zavaleta got sent off, it just became a matter of managing the match and seeing it out at that point. And they were able to hold on and get the win, man down for 28 minutes. Riqui said as much post match. He said, last year we don't win this match. And I agree with them. Last year they don't win this match, and we saw the evidence. They didn't win those matches last year. But Riqui also did say, I want to be clear, I'm really happy we won it. And I believe my good friend Miggy Grease, Mike Gray, had a tweet on this one. He says, Riqui says, I want to be clear, I'm really happy we won 3 points and we are in the top of the league. But I think that if we want to win this MLS, I think we need to be more focused. And I mean,
there it is. Yeah.
These are the growing pains that this team is going through right now. I mean, they still haven't had that much time together, and they're arguably overperforming. I mean, we know that these players perform, but we didn't expect them to come together so quickly. So, I mean, now it just becomes a matter of putting the raw talent to the mentality, right? Of we need to stay focused every single moment of the match, which is unfortunately not what our brother Eric Zavaleta did. That go ahead, Ananda.
Well, no, that's I mean, it was, I guess, mature to see this game out, but I that's what I wanted to push back on. Was I don't think it was a mature performance. To be fair, I actually thought the 3-1 performance at their camp a few weeks ago or a couple months ago, I thought that was a more mature performance. And I'm gonna pull up something that my Yoshida said, man, because don't take it from me, take it from the El Capi, my Yoshida. Love that.
The way we conceding is not only today, but like January, it's very cheap, very casual. And luckily we could score more than we conceding. That's a positive thing. But of course, it's going to be difficult sometime, and we need to reduce the number of the conceding the goal and number of the goal against. Well, also after 3-0, even 2-0, and most of the game now we can dominate tactically very well, so we can avoid any pressing and the possession. We can increase our possession percentage. So we need to be much more mature how to manage the game, especially after 2-0, even 3-0, then how we control the game, how they sometimes let them come and make a counter-attack, or we try to make a drop, then make a counter-attack or something like this. We need to be mature. We need to control the game much more better. That's our feeling, and we can avoid the cheap goals as well.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. If they have 11 men on the field, but the way they were able to see the match out, that's what I mean about they were mature to see it out. Of course, if they have 11 men on the field and they give up those goals, my opinion would absolutely change. But that's not the game. That's not the game that they were presented.
Yeah, but I just want to push back on this whole maturity idea. I think I want to go back again. So shout out, big up C Miles, because he made a great point the last time that he was on, which was the next step of maturity for this team is game management. And we've been talking about that ever since C Miles brought it up, to be fair. And there's points in the game at 3-0, at 4-1. You don't give a cheap, set piece right in front of your penalty box area. You don't lose again. Unfortunately, Maya and Edwin, they both lost their marker, and you don't give away a cheap goal off of a cross, right? First of all, you got to, block down the cross. You got to chase that. So the winger didn't do his job, or whoever was on that side, and we didn't, count our men inside the box. And so those little lapses of concentration, that's what I'm going to push back on. That's the next step of level of maturity on this team. And Maya said it even so in those comments right there. And I think that's a really good mentality for this team to have. And I'm hoping that execution will come, but it's got to come, definitely before the playoff time, and for this team to be an elite team. And Robert, I'm saying all this. It's like, people can hear this and say, well, you're nitpicking or you're being harsh on this team. You know what? I'm putting this team on standard. This is a team that's won 5 MLS Cups. So I'm basing them on that standard. The team, the most historic franchise in MLS. And for us to get to that level, I feel like that's the next level of progression. But you know what? It's not just coming from me. Even the players are saying it so themselves. And that, to me, is a really positive sign.
Oh, I love that they have that mentality. But to be clear, I was just speaking about the last 28 minutes. Once the red card happens, and then I think you can clearly see that once Zavaleta gets off, obviously they give up the penalty. They get scored on there, but once they were down to 10 men, they did not get scored on again. So that's what I mean again by maturity. Those last 28 minutes, them able to see that match out, which again doesn't happen last year. But it's okay to have difference of opinion, chats. Let us know what you guys think on this one. Do you guys think they were mature in seeing it out, or do you think that they need to grow the F up and start managing these games better? Shout out to Big Tony. Man, bring me back a bread bowl from Seattle. Some of that clam chowder, man. Thank you so much for listening to us over there in the Pacific Northwest. We can't wait till you're back home. So yeah, man. But the Galaxy were able to see this one out, 4-3, just barely. They were able to see this one out, and yeah, man. I mean, the Galaxy fans were both, up in arms, and then they were in celebration. I think we have some choice ones about young nephew Eric. Young nephew Eric Zavaleta here.
Oh yeah, we'll pull those up later. I'm gonna go through. So you want to go through the reactions, right? Let me pull some up. So here you go, Rob.
So I believe this one's kind of tongue in cheek, kind of hitting back at some people on the X in the past couple of weeks. It says we're not back. Turnover count in quotations, and then they say I don't know, but it's cold as F on the top of the table. It is. It's chilly up here. What else we got? Brenda says packed stadium, solid squad, nothing but good vibes at our home games on top in the stands. After a couple of years, us LA Galaxy fans deserve this. G's up.
Yep.
Yeah,
well said.
Couldn't agree more. Long-suffering Galaxy fans definitely deserve this. 12 Threads and Janos from 12 Threads say that they have this in music notes. So I'm assuming, Ananda, this is saying to the tune
The
of
supporter groups.
Yeah. You know what? What supporter? What song were you thinking?
No. I wasn't thinking of song. I was thinking, are they trying to submit this as a submission to the supporter groups, or what's going on here?
Well, I think what this was, I don't know if you saw this fight this past weekend, but Ryan Garcia put a couple of knockdowns on Haney, right? And in the lead up to that match, my man Ryan Garcia was singing to himself in a press conference, or they're interviewing these cats, and he was in a white suit, and he was like, looking nice, all right, and he was just like bouncing. So like when I read this, I'm imagining Ryan Garcia
that makes sense.
This.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So War White, looking nice, 4 goals, 3 points, come through, and then just Ryan Garcia is just like bobbing his head and it's like in his leg. So yes, so the Niners from 12 Threads were festive. They were singing. It's good to see them singing and happy.
Speaking of festive.
Yeah. Speaking of festivals, people were so happy they were throwing the very expensive booze around. Eli Lesser, the homie friend of the show, Mr. This Weekend MLS himself, whoever threw their entire Bloody Mary onto me after the first goal, just know there are zero hard feelings. I'm sure he was super happy to bathe in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. At LA Galaxy, at five times at LA Galaxy. I don't even know how to say that
LA
one.
Galaxy, but with a 1 as the L kind of thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
1A, yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Well, they have Gabriel Peck, 1 goal, one assist. Joseph Painso, 1 goal, 1 assist. My wingers, and they're all hugging and they look happy, and it's a beautiful sight to see. At LA Azar House says full-time Galaxy 4, San Jose 3. It wasn't the prettiest ending, but we'll take the win. Set pieces seriously need to be addressed. This is pretty ridiculous. We remain in first despite that. Yeah, we agree. It's kind of like a symptom here. I don't know. I don't want to be thinking about the Galaxy making it all the way to MLS Cup and then just giving up a set piece goal to lose. That would just be the anyway, we won't go there yet. Friend of the show, Michelle Hooting, says LA Galaxy win. Sure, the 3 points is all that matters, but this is not a game I feel happy with. Stay tuned for more on at Simply Soccer _ Yeah. So
I will stay
shout
tuned,
out.
Michelle, on Simply Soccer. I'm interested to see what you have to hear that you're not happy with. Interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And shout out to her and Big C over there, always putting it down on Simply Soccer. And the Galaxy would have you think that, getting that win at home, staying undefeated at home is the moment of the match. I, however, am of the opinion that Eric Zavaleta's red card was the moment of the match. It was
unanimous decision. Yep, I'm there with you.
Quite a different match after this happens, and Galaxy fans definitely had some opinions on it, and they were, some of them were I was like, oh man, I can't read that on the pod. That's really mean. So at Rudy Matt 315, Rude Boy Rudy Madrigal says, how is Zavaleta still on this team? Jose at LJGY says, we have such an up and down relationship with this man. A few weeks ago, he sparked a comeback, and now he almost cost us a 3-goal cushion. Exactly. And that was a retweet, or that was a quote tweet of at LA Galaxy 310, who said, "Great news, LA Galaxy fans. Eric Zavaleta will be unavailable for section next week in Austin," which is
harsh.
Which is about the as kind of like harsh as I will be willing to take it. I mean, obviously he didn't have a good game. It was a horror show. 10 minutes. I mean, there was one pass that he misplayed that he quickly recovered. That I was like, oh, okay, good, he got it back. But yeah, I mean, not a good look for him, especially because he was just coming back, and then he had 2 really good performances, and so like it just sucks. What was that? What's that Tyra meme? We were all rooting for you.
Yeah. Well, this is what I was saying, Robert. He's not a starting center back. If you are going to rely on him to play more than 20 some odd games in MLS season, he is not your guy. But if he's there as the 3rd or 4th choice, I would say 4th choice probably, and to get in, maybe 5-10 games in the season or help close games out, then sure. But it's a guy you can't rely on, and it is what it is. I'm just kind of speaking the truth here, obviously, because you see the ups and downs. Like, it's really, really high highs, like going back and starting the comeback, just like Jose said, or having a Eric Zavaleta special, a blunder.
Really quick, before we go any further, Big Heck, shout out Big Heck, who's in the chat, talking about the Henry Martin rumor. We have brought that one up before. To be honest, I feel like him and his agent are just using that as a weight to try to get America to give into his wage demands. He's said a couple times que se quiere quedar en el nido. I don't know. It'd be good to have, but I mean, the Galaxy have a Dayon who's firing right now, maybe for an option, but I don't know. I don't see it happening with at present. But that's one to keep your eyes on, guys. Henry Martin to the Galaxy. It'd be interesting to see if that one picks up any steam. But guys, of course, the Galaxy did hang on to win, and of course, we do need to pick a defending the badge winner, right? So we have 4 candidates this week, and I think it's pretty obvious who they are: Joe Paintsill, Gabriel Peck, Riqui Puig, and Maya Yoshida. Of course, JP had that goal and assist. He had 4 fouls, 1. He did make the MLS team of the match day bench. Riqui Puig, he had a goal and an assist. He won 4 of 7 duels, completed 76 of 91 passes. You had Maya Yoshida with the goal as well. And then, of course, Gabriel Peck, goal and an assist, and makes the MLS team of the match day. But, of course, guys, we want to know who you're giving your defending the badge prize to this week. I mean, a lot of good candidates, and it's a good problem to have that so many players are stepping up and putting in good performances that you're having a hard time saying, like, dang, who am I going to give this one? But Ananda, I'm gonna call you out first and have you go ahead and give us yours, because you told me before today's podcast that you were going to kind of go off script. So go ahead, hit us with what you got.
Yeah, well, I was actually in between 2 guys, but I will. I don't know if you might pick this other guy or if you're going to go on script, but we'll see. But yeah, I did mention him earlier, and I kind of gave myself a little bit away, but I did want to give him his flowers, and I think now is a good time to do it. My defending the badge is Gaston Brugman, man, and that's for me like the first of the season. It's. I think the mark of a really, really good player is you figure out what you have or how your team plays when you don't have him on the squad, right? And, of course, we started the season with Cerillo. Gaston was getting back into fitness. But, man, like, not even just only the last 30 minutes of this game, Robert, but the whole match. Like, he had an outstanding performance, in my opinion, like a true number 6 performance. I mean, the guy was everywhere. I walked out of that stadium. Even I looked at Mauricio. I'm like, you know what? Gaston put in a hell of a shift today. And he looked at me. He's like, absolutely. Like, he ran his socks off. He's not the fastest player. I don't know if he has 3 lungs like Mark Delgado, but man, the guy was everywhere. Just making the right read, being in the right position, going back and helping his teammates. Unfortunately, the one little blunder I have on Gaston is he was the one that actually gave the free kick away for that 3-1 that led into, the first goal for San Jose. But to be honest, when I looked at that play back, it really wasn't his fault. It was something that Greg talked about post-match, which was we were a little bit too high up the pitch, and it's almost like everyone was in the mode of like, ooh, I can get a goal today. We can make this 4, 5, 6 versus containing the game, and we were caught too high up the pitch. And unfortunately, Gaston had to go back and make that challenge. Otherwise, there was a dangerous opportunity in the penalty box going the other way. But no, especially in that last 30 minutes, man, Gaston, to me, I thought he was the captain on that pitch, more so than Maya, more so than anyone else. I mean, yeah, I mean, he was immense. Like I said, he put in an absolute shift, just putting in the right tackle, diffusing situations. And then what else is his big trait? He gets the ball and he gets it up the pitch. Like, he gets it in, like, he makes a forward pass, doesn't look back, looks up, and puts us in that position where, we had to put pressure on San Jose. Like, we couldn't be defending 2 banks of 4 for the last total 30 minutes of the game. By the way, shout out Miguel Berry too, because I thought even in 5 minutes plus injury time. By the way, 8 minutes of injury time. Are you kidding me, ref? Are you kidding me? Let's do a little moment for that. Like, jeez. Exactly. Shout out Christian Miles. But yeah, just absolutely disgusting. But yeah, Miguel Berry did a good job as well. Just, being that hold up guy, chasing after lost causes, keeping the ball in the corner flag. Like you said, going back to your maturity point, that is a mature thing to do. Definitely just kill time as much as possible. But yeah, man, I thought Gaston, like I said, was immense. And he, for me, won defending the badge. I thought he was absolutely awesome for that team. I thought, especially in the last 30 minutes when we were down a man.
Ooh, okay. So he was not one of the candidates, but that's okay. We'll allow it. We'll let you have Gaston. Unfortunately, I disagree with you. But again, a good problem to have, because we want a lot of players, being considered for this kind of thing, right? I'm actually calling John McCarthy. He's had a series.
That was my other player.
Yeah, he's had a series of good performances, and he's made big saves when he needed to. I mean, that full stretch one-handed save at 4-3 was Jesus. I mean, you talk about preserving a win. That's right there. How you do it, right? So mine was John McCarthy, but we were both wrong because the people have spoken, Ananda. We had 22 million votes on this one, and
keeps
the
going
people,
up. That number keeps going up every week.
well, it's because the people have been knowing about this now, and so the 22 million people have voted on this one, and your winner for defending the badge this week with 35% of the vote, beating the second place person here, Maya Yoshida, who had 23%. JP, the unbreakable one, Joseph Paintsel.
And I.
Oh, you and I indeed. I love how they play his music.
I love that. I love that too. Yep.
And
no, I mean
they just tried to sneak it in there last time,
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, Robert. Like your what is it? I don't know if it was a prediction but just your comment when we were looking at these two DP signings. You said this was going to be the more exciting signing, and man, we're seeing it. We're absolutely seeing it. He's an absolute class player. Just his speed and the way he's able to hold off defenders, right? His strength. Like I saw Edwin Cerillo got stuck a couple times in the right back position where he's not used to. And he just gave it to JP because he knows JP is going to shoulder off the other guy. And, just having that confidence of your teammate is going to hold the ball when you give it to him and not feel rattled or, have dispossess the ball. That's a really good thing to have. And of course, that speed in behind is absolutely killer.
Well, guys, that's your defending the badge winner this week, Joseph Paintsel. Yeah, Ananda, you're right. I was super excited about him coming. I got super bummed out when it looked like it wasn't happening, and then he came, and he's been every bit as advertised, and plus the music is fire. And some, right? And then we just get down to the good jams, man. So shout out to JP.
Rob, top 3 MVP candidate, you think?
Too soon to tell. Let's take it to the All-Star break.
Ask me in a month.
Yeah, let's take it to the All-Star break, right? But yes, the Galaxy have their attack just purring right now. They're about their business. They're in first place. They're in top of the Western Conference. They're tied for first place in the Supporter Shield as well. And we had an interesting question that I saw that we had earlier that I was going to pose, but I wanted to save it, right? Because I thought it was really interesting. And I'm going to ask the chat here, right? Because you just asked me about Joseph Paintsel being an MVP candidate, and I said it's too soon to tell, right? Well, I don't think it's too soon to tell on this next question, right? And it was posed by a friend of the show, El Profe Alex Reese, and he asked, and he put up a fun video with it, if Greg Vanney's in contention for Coach of the Year. Chat, go ahead and sound off on this one. I know we're gonna have some different opinions on Coach Gregorio Vanney, but what he's been able to do so far is just progressive so far. Ananda, what do you think? In contention for Coach of the Year so far?
Oh, I think so. Just in terms of, again, this is as of today, right? Like we're not projecting or anything, but man, just of course, I heard some arguments last year of, wait till Vanney gets his players. It's funny because it's so reminiscent of me I remember some of the debates we were having even with Arsenal fans just around Arteta, right? Just like wait till he gets his players, blah, blah, blah. And it's interesting that like this year, now that he has that speed on the wings, he has that possession style of ball, and he's got a great GM behind him. I mean, you can't deny the facts, Robert. I mean, we're first place. We've had I would say one of the harder schedules in MLS to start the season. And what he's doing with this team, whether it's by skill or in some games like the SKC game by luck, I mean, he's done a phenomenal job, I think, and he deserves his plaudits. And you know what? We always think of other coaches like Peter Vermees, Even, your Ben Olsen's, like, out coaching him at times. Well, their teams are not, their teams are kind of struggling. I mean, you look at Schmetzer, right, in Seattle, like his team's struggling as well. And he's, points wise, he's out coaching, quote unquote, but like he's bettering his colleagues that people in the Galaxy community have sort of said that he's gotten out coached by a lot of these guys. So, hey, for me, I think he deserves it. But as you just said, it's too early. Ask me in a month. I think early signs are good, and we'll see sort of in the next 10 game stretch how that plays out. But yeah, you can't deny the work that Greg Vanney's done, man. I think it's undeniable that the points speak for themselves.
Yeah, it's interesting to pose the query, and our good friend Alex Reese is actually in chat right now, and he says that he's not at the moment, in my opinion, rather. But it's interesting that MLS people are bringing it up. I believe it's nice that he's recognized for the work that he's done so far and being able to turn around the team, of course, with a lot of help from the Shuffle Kuntz getting his players in. But you know what? We're starting to see the fruits of those labor, the buying into the philosophy, the what's that phrase we all love, Ananda? They're trusting the process, and we're seeing it happen, right? So
yeah. And it's nice to see him in press conferences with you guys too. Someone said, I can't remember if it was Judge Sophie or Christian, or someone said, just we're so lucky to have Greg Vanney in terms of, especially for we as in the media, and that would be you guys, not me included, obviously, but just you. I mean, it's a kind of a pleasure to hear him talk about like football in general, but he's just so open with you guys about everything that he's doing or thinking. And I think that's really rare, especially in today's day and age.
He's very genuine.
Head coach. Absolutely. So, and it's nice to see him with a smile on his face too. Even, in certain sort of games where we haven't got the result he wanted or the team wanted. But yeah, I think that's been the best thing, is just seeing him happy, man. He's in a great mood, press conference or post match in those press conferences, and it's showing on the pitch for sure.
Well, there's been very, very little to be not happy about so far this season. Through 9 matches, the Galaxy hold a 5-1-3 record, 21 goals for, 15 goals against. They're on 18 points. Of course, like we mentioned, they're in first in the Western Conference, and just second on goal difference there in the Supporter Shield. But they do have a game in hand over Miami. They're averaging 2 points per game at the moment. Last pod, we brought you an interesting stat about how long it took them to get to their points total. Well, we're bringing that one back to you. Last year, it took them 20 games to get to 18 points. They actually got to 19 points with that 2-1 win over LAFC at the Rose Bowl on 4th of July. So, again, I mean, just the progression is evident. 9 games versus 20 games to get to the same point total.
It's nuts.
Yeah, that's just again, you said it earlier, numbers don't lie. So the team has obviously progressed, and a big part of that is got to be the coach, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're winding down, Ananda. Do you got anything else to add before we get on out of here?
Well, really quick, I'm going to let the chat have the last say for me. Just wrapping this up about Vanney. So Leo says, I give Vanney props for what he's doing. They've been good at making the necessary adjustments at halftime. We'll see where we are at the start of, I think, League's Cup. I think that's what he means. Tony says set piece defending is hurting the process. But Alex says Vanney doesn't yaps. This is the point that we made about sort of his post-match pressers. His words have genuine meaning and tactical insight. I love that as a reporter. I'm sure you feel the same way, Rob. And yeah, man, he's doing a really, really good job.
He's like I mentioned, he's a very, very genuine guy. One of my favorite moments so far this season was actually with Profe Alex Ruiz and Mike Gray, Miggy Gray, and we just had a quiet moment with Greg off the side at the CVI, and we got to ask him all kinds of fun questions just about life and what he was doing on vacation. Alex had a really fun question in there as well. I'll let him reveal that to you guys one day when he comes on, because it's an all-time banger for sure. Alexinho always locked in. So anyway, yeah, no, he's super genuine, and it's good to see him smiling, like you said. And hopefully it continues, because he has a chance to get his first 3-game win streak coming up this weekend. And would that be great? Yes, it would. I mean, he's already beaten Vermees this year. He's gotten one over on Schmetzer, since you were name dropping him earlier. The Galaxy have gone and beat some bogey team in SKC and Seattle, and so they're prime. I feel like they're ready to do it, but they're back on the road again. They will visit Austin FC on the road this weekend. Ananda and I will be in Austin again. If you're there, if you're hanging out, hit us up. We'll meet up. See Ananda, drink Ananda. You know the game. If you see him, tag him, make him drink. But will the Galaxy be able to get their first 3-game win streak? We'll find out on Saturday, April 27th. This one is an early one, guys. So go ahead and get your breakfast, get those waffles or get those mimosas or whatever you got to do. This one's at 10:45. Of course, we'll be bringing you a game preview for this one on Wednesday, April 24th at 9 p.m. Just a note to you guys, our regularly scheduled Thursday show will not be happening. It'll be happening on Wednesday night because we'll be flying out to Austin, and we got to get ready for our travels there. So
I got to get ready for SADA. So yeah, we have to do it on Wednesday, guys. Sorry about that.
He needs to sleep. He for sure needs to sleep. And he's gonna hang. So anyway, guys. So our regular scheduled Thursday night show will be happening on Wednesday, April 24th at 9 p.m. where we bring you that Austin preview. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, man. You know what? Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to this pod, youtube.com/@LaCunaGalaxiana. We'll love you so much. We'll give you all the cookies in the world, all the pupusas in the world if you do so. Go ahead and catch our live match reaction on Monday, April 29th at 9 p.m. That'll be the match recap of that Austin match, where hopefully the Galaxy get to their 21st point, stay on top of the league, give Greg his first 3-game win streak, and just continuously have the Galaxy community riding high, right? So until then, I think there's just one thing left to say, Ananda.
Yep.
Galaxy's in first place. Life is good. G's up. Thank you, chat.